Welcome to Mindful Moments. It's where
What's
we
that?
nourish your mind, like even on your commute or while you're folding laundry.
On the go learning, just what we all need.
Absolutely. And today, we're going to use some really cool AI voices to dive deep into a world where science and religion, well, they kind of clash.
Oh, I'm intrigued already.
So, you guys sent in these fascinating pieces from Dan Brown's book, Angels and Demons.
Ah, a classic thriller.
It is, and it takes us right into CERN,
Mm.
that European organization for nuclear research, and of course the Vatican, the heart of the Catholic Church. But there's this twist, the Illuminati.
The Illuminati. Now, that's a blast from the past. I thought they were just a conspiracy theory.
Right. But according to Brown, maybe not. It starts with a murder, a physicist, then bam, a race against time that could literally rewrite history.
Okay, now you've got my attention. What kind of details are we talking about here?
Some seriously wild stuff. There's a murdered physicist, a secret society, and a countdown that could change the world as we know it.
Sounds like a recipe for an amazing deep dive.
It is. And we're going to uncover some surprising facts, make you think, analyze it all. So buckle up. This is going to be a wild ride.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay, so first, let's talk about CERN. The place where they smash those tiny particles together.
Yeah, I've heard of it. It's like the cutting edge of physics, right?
Exactly. And get this, they've actually created antimatter. It's like the evil twin of matter.
Antimatter. That's some sci-fi stuff right there.
But it's real. And it's powerful, like crazy powerful. Our sources say that a single droplet could power, get this, New York City for a whole day.
Wow, that's mind-blowing.
I know, right? But here's the catch. Antimatter is volatile. Like it ignites on contact with, well, anything, even air.
Okay, now that's scary. So what's the big deal with antimatter in the book?
Well, in the story, top physicist at CERN, Leonardo Vetra, he's found dead, murdered, and his lab totally ransacked.
Oh no, what happened?
Someone stole a canister of, you guessed it, antimatter. Plus, the killer, they left a mark on Vetra, a symbol. And, well, they also took his eye.
Took his eye. That's brutal. And a symbol, huh? Definitely sounds like we're dealing with something more than just a random crime.
Exactly. It's like a calling card, right?
Yeah.
And then there's that stolen antimatter. Who would want such a dangerous thing?
Well, the source material points to the Illuminati, that secret society, the one we thought was long gone.
Oh, those guys. But why? Why would they want antimatter?
They have this, ancient vendetta against the church. Maybe they see this as their ultimate weapon.
The Illuminati operating in the shadows, using stolen antimatter. Things are getting interesting, right?
You could say that again. I'm hooked already.
Me too. And the story just gets more intense. So enter Robert Langdon, this symbologist.
A symbologist? What's that?
He's like a code breaker, but for symbols. And he's called in to investigate the murder.
Makes sense. Someone who can read the signs.
Yeah, and he teams up with Vetra's daughter, Vittoria, who's also a physicist at CERN.
So they're on the case together. But how do they even begin to track down the Illuminati?
Their investigation takes them on this wild chase through Rome, following clues the Illuminati left behind.
Clues, like a treasure hunt.
Kinda, but the treasure is stopping a global catastrophe. And these clues, they're hidden in plain sight, like in famous works of art.
Works of art, like paintings.
No, actually sculptures, by Bernini. Each one marks a point on this secret path. It's called the Path of Illumination.
Okay, so it's a secret path marked by sculptures, and this leads to the Illuminati.
Exactly. But these aren't just random spots in Rome. Each location is linked to one of the four classical elements: earth, air, fire, and water.
Ah, the elements, classic symbolism. I bet those elements held a special meaning for the Illuminati.
Oh, absolutely. They were central to their beliefs.
Yeah.
So this isn't just about revenge. It's something way bigger. An attack on the very core of the church.
Okay, so the stakes are pretty high then.
You have no idea. The stolen antimatter, it's set to explode at midnight.
Explode. Hold on, this is bad, right? Like, really bad.
If it detonates, it could wipe out Vatican City. We're talking about total destruction.
So it's a race against time.
It is. And a clash between science and religion, a fight for humanity itself.
Dan Brown really set the stage for an epic showdown.
He did. And this is just the beginning. We've only scratched the surface.
I can't wait to see where this goes.
Well, before we go any further, I think it's time for everyone to grab a copy of Angels and Demons and dive into the full story.
Yeah, get the book, see what we're talking about, and when you're ready, come back and we'll continue this deep dive.
See you soon. So the Path of Illumination, you were saying, is not just random locations, right?
Right. Each church, it's tied to one of those classical elements: earth, air, fire, water.
Like the Avatar. Sorry, go on.
No worries. But yeah, these elements, they weren't just symbolic to the Illuminati. They were like scientific principles,
Yeah.
governing the universe. It's like they had this deeper understanding of science, NED, religious iconography. Pretty wild.
It really is. Brown's good at that,
Yeah.
blending all these different things, science, religion, art, history, into one story. And it works.
Totally. And it goes even deeper. Those cardinals, the ones they're targeting, they're not just any cardinals. They each represent like a different faction within the church, different views on science and faith. It adds another layer to it,
So it's not just a chase. It's like an intellectual puzzle, too.
Absolutely. Saving lives, but also grappling with these huge G questions. What do we believe? What's the role of science? What happens when they clash?
Heavy stuff. I'm really getting into Brown's style now.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know what else is really cool?
That's okay.
His description of that antimatter trap. So detailed, so intricate. It shows how smart humans are, but also kind of scary, right?
Yeah.
How we can create things that are both amazing and destructive.
Totally. Like it could give us so much or destroy everything.
And do you think that's what he's getting at? Like, we need to be careful with knowledge,
Yeah.
especially when you have someone like the Camerlenio wanting to use antimatter to, like, revive faith. That's messed up, right?
It is messed up. But the Camerlenio, he's such an interesting character. He shows how dangerous fanaticism can be, even if you think your goal is good. He's desperate to bring back faith, and it pushes him to do some pretty messed up things.
Yeah. Makes you think, how far is too far when you're fighting for what you believe in?
Exactly. And Brown, he doesn't give you an easy answer. It's in the whole book, the Illuminati wanting enlightenment, but using violence. The cardinals struggling with their faith as science changes things.
He doesn't, like, pick a side, does he?
Nope. He wants us to think about it, the good, the bad, the in-between. Oh, and another thing he does really well is setting. The way he describes the Vatican, the art, the architecture, the history, you really feel it.
And then there's the media, right, going crazy over this whole thing.
Oh, yeah. Always wanting the next big story, even if it's a tragedy. Kind of like today, huh?
Totally. Brown was ahead of his time, in a way. Okay, so we're getting to the climax, right? Motives, secrets, everything's kind of tangled up.
Langdon and Vittoria, they gotta stop this disaster, but they've also uncovered all these secrets, these bigger ideas.
Vatican City's in danger, but it's bigger than that, isn't it?
Way bigger. It's about faith, reason, how we understand the world.
And now the Camerlenio, he's about to do something that changes everything. It's like you can feel the tension in Angels and Demons now, Langdon's running out of time, got to stop this explosion, save the Vatican.
And the Camerlenio, he's a tough one to crack. Logic doesn't work, reason doesn't work. It's all about faith for him. But it's gone, I don't know, sideways,
But Langdon, he's not giving up. He gets on that helicopter with the Camerlenio, and it's like more than just a fight, It's ideas clashing. It's about what humanity should be.
Powerful stuff, right? Langdon, he's got the science, the knowledge. Camerlenio, he's got his faith, but it's so distorted he'd sacrifice anything.
And then just when you think you get the Camerlenio, he reveals this personal thing, his history with the church, adds a whole other layer to him, doesn't it?
It does. You see the hurt, the disappointment that led him to this. He's not just some crazy guy. He's complicated, capable of good, but also, well, this.
And that's what makes the book so good. It's not black and white heroes and villains. It's real, people making choices and those choices having consequences.
Exactly. And in the end, Langdon, he's brilliant, right? He uses everything, symbols, history, science, figures out a way to save everyone, the Vatican, even the Camerlenio.
But it's risky, isn't it? He really has to know his stuff.
Oh, yeah. Langdon, he's like the ideal, right? Someone who gets the mind, A-N-D, the spirit.
Okay, so the climax. Tell me about it.
Intense. Langdon gets the Camerlenio away from the antimatter, escapes the helicopter, and then boom.
But it explodes high up, right? So not as bad.
Right. Scary, sure, but also kind of beautiful. This huge light show, everyone sees it. And in a weird way, the Camerlenio, he kind of got what he wanted. People are shaken. They see this power, something bigger than themselves.
But he dies, right? He jumps out of the helicopter.
He does. A martyr, he thinks. Tragic, but also, we don't know for sure, do we? Was he right? Was it all worth it? That's what makes you think.
So Vatican's safe, but things are changed, right? The church, they got to deal with this. It's like a warning, What happens when faith goes too far, even in a place like that?
Angels and Demons, it doesn't wrap up everything neatly. It makes you think about faith, about science, about what it means to be human.
We've covered a lot, haven't we? Science, religion, ancient secrets, all that. Choices people make that affect everyone.
And we hope you guys are thinking about it too. If you haven't read the book yet, seriously, go grab a copy. Links in the show notes.
It's a wild ride. And remember, learning never stops. Subscribe to Mindful Moments. We'll take you deeper into all sorts of stuff. Science, history, whatever's out there. Share this episode with your friends. Get them thinking too. And join us next time for another deep dive. Until then, keep those minds mindful.